I tend to attack the far arm, not the near arm, far arm, okay? So now we'll think about this. As a rule, I start out usually with, and it also depends on the size of my opponent. Size of my opponent, right? They might be too long for me, or too round, or too wide. So both hands on the ground for this one, okay? Now, I'm gonna gain control of the seat. Let's do this from a defensive posture, okay? So defensive posture. One arm under the neck, one arm at the elbow. And that's fine too. Sure, whatever you like. All right, so we're now at the elbow. He has his leverage platform and it's working for him. So a couple of things that I want to do. Number one is let's take his leverage platform away. And I put my arm over top of it first. Because now if I leave his arm on my shoulder, keep going, push me up. Now he has some usable, workable position and effectiveness with that arm. When I put my arm over top of it, he still has some force, but now it's not all only on my neck where he's actually gaining real leverage. Okay? So I put my arm over top of it. I'm going to put my arm over top of it to kind of gain a little bit of control of him, and I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to go to the other side of his head. Then I'm going to take my other hand, I'm going to bring it to the leg side. Then I'm going to take my ear, I'm going to put it here in the center. I'm going to put it here in the center, and that's going to take his ability to push me as easily away. Okay? Now, we'll start thinking about taking this arm. One, I'm going to pull, and I'm going to bring my arm back and drive and bring my whole body across. I'm going to center over top of his face. I see the smile. Yeah. So again, wherever I'm at, he has a leverage platform. Doesn't matter if my arm is on either side. I like to start off here. We're going to take that away for a minute. Take that away. Now it's like, okay, now I can start to work. Put the hand over, ear on his body. Then I drive his arm down. Okay, either side of your head is going to be totally and completely fine for it. No big deal. So with the arm on this side, I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to start to drive it back across his body. I'm also going to assist myself with the other hand by doing like a push-up movement. Now I bring it to the other side once he's halfway on his side. Okay? Really important here is I'm going to turn my thumb up so my wrist is not flat. Now that I do this, it gives me the ability to actually drive and put pressure on him. Come off of my knees, and I bring my weight down. How's that?
That's nice.
Okay, so everybody come on this side. So you want to come over here, and we're going to look in this direction. So I use my hand, and I come to here. Now I'm going to take this hand, and I'm going to cup his tricep. How's that?
That's great.
Okay. Small detail here. So I'll keep my ear and my shoulder pinched. That makes it less comfortable for you, right? What does that make you want to do? He drops that hand for you. Now I grab it. One leg behind the head. Now I'm going to bring the other leg in front of him. We'll talk about the ifs later. Make my grip. Now, two motions. One, arm coming off of his body, and I want to bring his tricep against my chest. And I do not want, at this point, to start to bring and manipulate his arm past his belt. So it's one motion. Second motion is going to be to raise his hand off of his body. Up. Off. Up. Then I'm going to go behind him. So stay on that angle. He has his hand in posture. I'm going to take that away. Maybe even push against his head for a little bit to give him more discomfort. Then I come over. Then I come over and I put my hand down. Thumb. Just the thumbs is all I want to start making that loop in the armpit. Hand on the floor, and that helps to push me and bring him up and on his side. Notice here, I'm going to also move my hand out because I don't want to roll Steve on top of my head and just keep him there. 1, 2, 3. If you do it in sections, that's fine. That we'll talk about after. Arm up and behind. I spent about 2.5 years under Professor Harris having this done to me only. The only submission he did for about 2.5 years was this, on purpose, so I would learn it. Okay, so we're going to practice this first one. We'll start off with the arm on this side. 1, 2, 3. See, he's still flat? It's difficult for me. It becomes the most amount of work. Now the pressure.
Yeah.
Now that compounds the pressure. I feel his wrist coming off, and that's what I'm going to take. 1, 2, 3. Pause and wait. Pause and wait. Up. I squeeze my knees slightly together. I bring my thighs together. Up off of his body. Then I rotate behind. Okay?
And if he's got a death grip going on there?
We're going to work on that next. Because here, at this level, is where we're going to work on that. Now grab your own lapel, grab your own arms. Good. No big deal. This is where our hand comes into place. But we would like this for a while.
Yeah, that's.
And I don't want you to rush to the finish. And think about this as a concept. The stronger, larger, more aggressive, more aware, or more experienced my opponent is, the more sections I may have to do my movement in. So at any one point in time, I'm going to maybe even just hold this for a bit. Make a grip. Now my hand goes inside. And he comes across. Make and maintain your grip. In pieces. Feel comfortable taking it in pieces. Little bit at a time and waiting.
Love the knee pinch, the hip exchange, and the double arm grip.
Mhm.
Means a lot.
It's huge. It's a lot different than just,
Yeah, man. That's all it's gonna be.
I'm in trouble. He has too much stuff to do. Sections. So when in doubt, being smaller, we must do sections. And pause in each time. Take a breath. See when it's appropriate. Feel. But you see how the pressure, that gives me the ability to stay in each section longer. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give that a shot. And then we'll do this a couple of times. And I want you from the beginning to do both sides. Everything you do, as a concept, we do both sides.
Don't skip out on this first. This first exchange to control that elbow. That actually, yeah, give your partner a little bit of the leverage that you would give before it comes. You know, feel the difference, and when he steals it,
He has a significant leverage platform.
this, yeah, man, that sucks. That already
Push
feels
his head
like-
a little bit.
That's a bad feeling.
So don't miss it, is what I'm saying.
1, 2, 3. Ear in the center. And see how I just kind of move over towards his face. Just a little bit. Thumb in the armpit. 1 is a push and a drive. But now here's an incredibly important detail. Everybody who's back there, come to this side, like right on the other side of the pole. My thumb is up, yeah? It's still sideways, but now I turn it. I turn it so my arm isn't flat. And I drive him down. Now I pull. By making the pull, it should prevent the grip because of the discomfort and the pressure. But if he makes the grip, no big deal. We will pause, wait, and then we'll get to the part where we put our hand inside and feed our knee through. Because essentially what we're going to do is we'll push with our leg this way into the ground as we lift up, and that separates his grip. Okay?
That transition from putting your head on his stomach, and are you controlling that top shoulder with your hip or with your thigh?
No, I just centered my weight more towards this area.
Sort of
as I'm
pushing his
clocking
face
and
away,
coming around.
deviating his head.
It's not important at that time. It can be useful, but that's not the gist of it, I should say. That we can add into later, especially, let's say, black belt, brown belt, giant. We might need to do some extra things in the middle, in the beginning, to really maintain it and sustain our control over that. Does that make sense?
That wrist rotation from the armpit, you know, that last turn, man, that's because it was okay up until that point.
Yeah.
Like but you know what I mean? You're like, that's all right, and then it's like, oh man, you know you're cooked.
Essentially, turn to your side. You make a small bridge in there, and you're pressing his arm against his ribs, and that area right in here, oh man.
It's horrible.
Yep. And then when you reach underneath, and that's why I don't try to break his grip first. I reach underneath, and then you pull it up, and then that really takes the life out of him. Significantly, you gain a higher level of control over them. Okay?
Stuff.
Okay, let's try it. If there's any other questions in the mechanics, if you guys just want to see it again, start to finish. If not, let's give it a shot.
See one more.
One more, start to finish. I'm going to do it twice. One just together, and then the other one in the sections. I'm in across his side, and I could be in trouble. I need to maintain control of him. So if I feel this, anything, I like to get my hand to the other side, yes, but this one, you gotta get it off. Whew. But now we're not just gonna put it there, we're gonna try to anchor on his shoulder just slightly, not like for dear life, but that gives me the ability to stay with him as he still raises his arm. Okay, so I still anchor a little bit. Now we come over, and I'm safe, okay? No big deal. I'm gonna take my arm now off of this, and see how now I move just slightly over towards his face? So I have a better angle at putting my ear down. Now my thumb starts to look for him. Right there, good. Push up, drive, walk. Turn that arm, lean into him, pressure down. Now I go for the tricep, pressure down. Arm in front, leg in front, leg in the back. Make my grip, still pressure, squeezing my knees, up, and behind.